Hi, welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I provide online divorce, mediation, and valuation services in St. Louis, Missouri. Today, we will discuss how exit planning is not what you think with Scott Snider. Scott is the president of Exit Planning Institute, EPI, and the operating partner of Snider Premier Growth, a small family investment company in Westlake, Ohio. When we talk about what value comes from the three legs of the stool, and I think that kind of ties into it, but maybe you can tell us more about the three legs.
You're spot on. No, we kind of talked around this a bit already, but I think that one thing I want to focus on that you said was, I think you said it a little bit earlier too, is that it's complex. Selling a company is complex. We kind of joke around and use with the home analogy, but it's a hell of a lot easier to sell a home than it is to sell a business. And I do. There's businesses trade in a range of value. So your business could trade at 2.5 million or 4 million. And to your point, it's what do you want to take? One, why it's so complex is there's so much different. This is literally why I think business owners don't do exit planning or estate planning or proper tax planning, because literally it's like, dude, I don't have time for this. This is like wildly chaotic and complex and frankly a little awkward at times because I haven't thought about this kind of stuff. And frankly, I don't even want to think about this kind of stuff. And so
with family members, it's like, well, I don't know if I want to give it to them. I want to sell it to them. Okay. All of that, they probably want the same thing either.
I mean, we could get down a whole new trail, but I think as a family business owner myself, have we even asked the next generation if they want the business, right? So it's like, the story of one gentleman, he was in a manufacturing company and he was the plant manager and he loved being the plant manager, loved his job, but he was like, Scott, I would never own this business. Yeah. So then dad, second generation, wants to pass it to the third generation, his son, and his son goes, Dad, I love working here. I appreciate everything the family does. I appreciate the business, but I would never own this. And his dad was like, what? And I think it's one of the reasons why I also teach owners to think about your business as just another asset inside of your portfolio. So if legacy is important to you and family wealth is important to you, it doesn't need to mean that it's in the same business. So what Tom and his dad ended up doing was selling that business, and Tom took the money and bought another company that he was more passionate about. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that going back to your question, I think that it's so complex. Exit planning is so complex because not only are you thinking about your employees, your culture, the buyer, what will happen with your company, you're also going back to that wealth gap conversation. We need to understand how much money do we want or need in life so that we could go do the things when our business doesn't exist anymore or is in the hands of another person. So maybe I don't need 4 million. Maybe I'm happy with the 2 because I understand that I only need 2.5 million to get to my wealth goal. So even though my business, I could take 4, not only is it not right for my people and the legacy, but it's also, I don't need it because I understand my wealth gap. That's the personal side of the 3 legs of the stool, or I guess the personal and financial side. And then we've kind of talked through the business. But yeah, this is why I think that most owners, most advisors are very concentrated. If you're an owner listening right now, you probably have a CPA sitting at your advisory table. You probably have an attorney sitting at the advisory table. Who represents your personal financial life, though? Right? Like most people sitting around my advisory table represent my business. There's no one there that represents the personal financial side. That's why one of the things we teach at EPI is that we need to round out that holistic advisory group with a personal financial advisor. So now if we get a financial advisor there, even if you just had those 3 people sitting and advising you, we could take a more holistic look at who you are as a business owner and as a person that has all of these things, right? So I think it was like Steve Jobs, right, that talked about throwing the dots up, and an entrepreneur's journey is in a straight line. It's connecting all these dots along the way. That's absolutely true when it comes to exit planning, is that there's all this stuff that we want to do as a person, but a big part of being a person for us as a business owner, and I need a personal financial strategy to wrap this whole thing, to wrap all of this stuff around. And so it's really about connecting all those lines. And that's really what the 3 legs of the stool is all about.